session, we will configure the Informatica MDM for Hierarchy Manager. We are going to use this given model for the Hierarchy Manager. Here, the employee, organization, and the products are main entities. Organization produce the product, organization has the employee, and there is a relationship between employee and employee. Within the employees, that is kind of reporting. So we have two association table, reporting and the association, and we have three entities: BO employee, BO organization, and BO product. Each has the business or column like the name and the custody for the employee, or the employee ID for the employee, name and the organization for the organization, name and product ID for the product. So let's start to configure this base object into the Informatica MDM hub. So first we will configure the organization and product. So let's right click on the base object, make sure you have right lock. The name of base object given is like BO org, and add two columns. First is name and second is organization ID. For simplicity, we are making the data type as a varchar and the length is 50. We can change it as per our need, but for our demo, we are making as a 50. Similarly, we will add the product base object, BO prod. There will be two columns, name and prod ID. We also have to add the sources. So in order to add the source system name, select the systems and trust from the model. Right click on the system, add system, for example CRM. For the demo, we will add only one system. Now we will create one more table, that is association, which is from the model. The employee and the reporting table will be created during the demo. The second important thing, on this BO objects, we have to enable the state management. So enable state management option is available when you select the base object and select the advanced tab. So make sure you enable that. So we have to enable all of them, all of these base objects. Make sure you are saving appropriately. Once we create this base object, we can go to the hierarchy, and here the pop-up message will come. It says hierarchy manager relationship base object table do not exist. Would you like to create them? So we have to select yes. So whenever you select yes, the relationship base objects will be created for the hierarchy management. To use the hierarchy modeling tool with ORS, we must first create the repository base object, that is also called as RBOs table. RBOs tables are essentially system-based object. Queries and packages will also be created for this RBOs. RBOs are required base object that must contain specific columns. We will see what are those columns very soon. So once we select those, the RBOs creation option, that one more pop-up will come which will ask us to select the entity icons. So we can provide the custom entity icons. If you select yes, then it will take us to the entity icons. Here we can upload the entity icons as a zip file. So here is we can download, we can create the zip file or the jar file and upload. So currently these are the icons are available to use. So there are large as well as small icons. Okay, so the next thing we will create the entities. So if you see here in the screen, there is entity object, hierarchies, and the relationship based object. So we have to go step by step. First we'll create the entities, then we'll create the hierarchy, and then relationship based object. So if you select now, if you go to the schema, then we could see there are three extra tables: RBO base class, hierarchy, and the relation type. So these extra three tables will be created when you select that S option on the first pop-up. Of course, we need to create the entity objects now. Okay. Or before that, what we'll do, we will create the packages. So I'm creating some common queries, common query group. And inside that, I will create the queries for the newly created tables. So specifically saying, so this will be display query. For table called as a RBO class. Mention here as RBO class display query, and we select all the columns. So what are the columns available inside this table? So this table contains the columns called as base object class code, its a description, and the display name. These are the important columns. Similarly, we'll create one more query for the second table, that is called a hierarchy. Hierarchy display query. So hierarchy is the table. And third column is the relation type. Third query is the query for relationship type. That is again related to the hierarchy. I think I wrongly selected. Okay. This is pretty much easy, and we know that we have so many times we have created these queries, and this is again the same way we have to create queries for this all these basic columns, basic tables. Then we will go to the hierarchy and we will add the entities. So just right click. The first thing, we will convert the existing entity, or we will convert existing base object into the entity. So we have to select entity. So there are two base objects which we need to convert into entity. First is organization. Select the organization, convert entity into base object. Here we have to choose the base object class, and for the base object, if the class code column already present, we have to select that in this existing base object column to use, or if it is the class code is not available, then we have to select the create new column option. So it will automatically create one more extra column. The name of extra column will be BO class code, and which will be added into the organization base object table. Once you click OK, the base object we can see inside the entity object, and we also can see that it's a foreign key relationship which is already available, and which is the base object class code from the organization has the relation of the base object class code from the RBO class. Similarly, we will create for the product also.